Ladies and gentlemen, I, Anshul Sharma, on behalf of hashtag Women Power, a global movement which has got presence in more than 20 countries. And it's started by Mr. D.K. Bakshi. So I, Anshul Sharma, head of Maharashtra, and along with my co-host, Ms. Niti Sharma, welcome each one of you on this show, which has been having presence in more than 20 countries. And Dr. Kiran Bedi is first face of this movement. We have got support and encouragement from all across the globe. And we have support by people like Dr. Kiran Bedi, like Dr. Shukla ma'am, and so many established women. So I'm really humbled and honored and excited, thrilled to have Professor Dr. Shukla on this show. And I will request my co-host Niti Sharma also to welcome her. And after that, I will, though Dr. Shukla is not somebody who's not known in the education fraternity, she is the one having more than 3 decades of experience into education industry and corporates. And currently she is holding vice chancellorship of one of the biggest university in India and international as well, Amity University. And Amity itself is a universe, and Dr. Balvinder Shukla, she is the vice chancellor of this university, and out of 35 years of her total cumulative experience, more than 2 decades she has served in Amity University. And ma'am is having so many papers, seminars on her credits in nationally and internationally as well. And I'll request Ms. Niti Sharma to welcome ma'am so that we can begin with the session. And during the course of our discussion, we will get to know so many layers unfold about Dr. Shukla ma'am. Over to you, Ms. Niti.
Thank you, Anshul Sharma ji. Good evening, Shubh Sandhya. Very warm welcome to one and all. हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में जिसका नाम है #Women Power, a global movement presented by Global Talent Company Limited. गाइस, जैसे आप जानते हैं कि फर्स्ट सैटरडे ऑफ एवरी मंथ हमारा मुंबई चैप्टर में अभी तक आप बहुत सारी महिलाओं से रूबरू हुए हैं. इतनी शक्तिशाली, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, महिला सशक्तिकरण की मिसाल हमारे यहाँ पर महिला आई हैं. और आज जो महिला हमारे साथ हैं वो किसी परिचय की मोहताज नहीं, किसान परिवार में पली बड़ी ये वो महिला हैं जिन्होंने अपनी ही सहपाठी की एक बात, एक चैलेंज को इतने मुद्दे में उठाया कि वो उसके बाद पीछे मुड़ के नहीं देखी और अपने एजुकेशन फील्ड में उन्होंने वो मुकाम हासिल किया जो सच माने बहुत मुश्किल से लोगों को मिलता है. यही नहीं, जब उनके पिताजी ने उनसे पूछा, बलविंदर क्या बनना चाहती हो आप अपने जीवन में मैम इज स्माइलिंग, तो उनका सीधा और सरल सा जवाब ये था कि मैं मिसेस इंदिरा गांधी जैसा बनना चाहती हूँ. जी हाँ, एजुकेशन में यदि हम मैम का आज दर्जा देखें तो किसी प्राइम मिनिस्टर से कम नहीं. जी, आप सभी जो यहाँ पर इस समय प्रेजेंट हैं, आप सबको बता दें, आज हमारे मुंबई चैप्टर में जो हमारे साथ हस्ती जुड़ चुकी हैं वो हैं प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर बलविंदर शुक्ला जी. यू वेलकम मैम. आपको यहाँ पर देख के इतनी खुशी हो रही है मैम, वी कैन नॉट डिफाइन दैट इन आवर वर्ड्स, बट वेलकम इन #Women Power, a global talent show मैम.
थैंक यू सो मच. थैंक यू मिस नीति. और मैम को देख के सिर्फ मुझे एक बहुत अच्छी जो रिसाइटिंग है वो ध्यान में आती है, which has been written by one of my mentors, Dr. Vijay Shukla, who's heading one of the largest newspaper and media house in Maharashtra, Lokmat Media. And he says, मैं अबला नादान नहीं हूँ, मैं अबला नादान नहीं हूँ, दबी हुई पहचान नहीं हूँ, रखती अंदर खुददारी हूँ, मैं आधुनिक नारी हूँ, मैं सीमा से हिमालय तक और खेल मैदानों तक हूँ, मैं माता, बहन, पत्नी और पुत्री हूँ, मैं प्रशंसिका, लेखक और कवित्री हूँ, अपने भुजबल से जीती हूँ, उद्योजिका, राजनीतिक और व्यापारी हूँ, मैं आधुनिक नारी हूँ. And ladies and gentlemen, trust me, whatever being is said in this reciting is, describing today's guest, Dr. Balvinder Shukla. And ma'am is not only an established woman, but trust me, guys, she is one of the biggest mentor, biggest teacher, educationist in our country. And when my co-host Ms. Neeti said that she wanted to be like Mrs. Indira Gandhi, trust me, guys, she has achieved much, much more than what she desired in during her childhood. So मैम हम लोग बहुत एक्साइटेड, और अगर हम बात करने जाएंगे आपके बारे में तो शायद पूरा टाइम निकल जाएगा, बिकॉज द काइंड ऑफ प्रोफाइल यू कैरी, आप like you are committee chairperson for more than 20 committees within MIT and outside MIT University as well. And when we talk about MIT University or MIT as a universe, I think you are the nucleus of MIT University. The way you have nurtured this particular institution. So normally we say that you are an institution, but in my terms, you are a group of institution. The kind of traits you carry, the kind of characteristics you have, and the way you nurture people like us who are not directly in touch with you, like Mr. Professor SP Singh is also there, who worked with you, and still he's there on show. Thanks to you, Professor Singh. And like whenever I talk about you in your university, either with your students, with your team, they all are gala about you. So ma'am, it is really like we all are waiting to hear your story from your mouth, like how it all happens. You are from a very not so urban background, I would say. So how this journey started and how you are able to achieve so much, and you are able to inspire lot many people like us. So ma'am, over to you. We are eager to listen to you.
Uh, Thank you very much, Anshul and Neeti ji,
Our
for
pleasure.
inviting me this show.
Oh my God, it's our pleasure, ma'am. You are here in our show. Thank you so very much.
You know, when the Anshul spoke to me the first time, and then I started remembering my journey, which I actually forgot. And remember my childhood and my background, that I really come from a very, very humble background. My parents, who were the farmers, but had a great vision for their family, for their children. And I'm born in a Sikh family, and that in a village. There was very challenging time for my parents initial years when they migrated from Punjab to UP, which is now Uttarakhand part, the foothills of Himalayas. Then migrated to the next level, next part of the Pradesh. And initially my parents were very, very small farmers. Okay, and it was for them to establish a new place like Uttarakhand was very, very challenging. In a way, my father worked in 2 shifts. That he will work in the morning, plow the field, and then he will give the rest to his ox, but take another pair of ox and to plow the field in the afternoon. And so they were really committed. And then when they looked at their life at that time, and they said, we don't want our children to have the same life and the tough life. And so how their life can be changed? And they said, education is the only solution to change the life of our children. And so they had a great vision for our education. And the greatest thing what happened to us, that our parents never differentiated between girl child and the boy child. That's what the one thing I think we were really, really blessed to be born to such a great parents. And I think the parents' values of like hard work, commitment, honesty, and being down to earth really helped over the years that what I am today. And I think that foundation which was set by my parents for us, and the kind of the nurturing was done by them, and every moment of the life was supported by them. I think the rest of the life became very easy for me.
जी.
To be very honest with you, uh, when I started going to school, I was not interested at all going to the school. I really enjoyed
Coming.
playing with the soil. Whole day I will play in the soil. I will just, and I had a dog at home. His name was Moti. I used to love to play with my dog. And, if my dog is in the field, I will just sleep in the field with the dog. And my parents used to search me where I am. And but my parents had this vision, and my Nanaji, my mother's father, was also came to support them. So my Nanaji used to take me to the school, and I used to run away from the school because I had more interest in playing.
Playing.
And and not but I think, God has planned and certain things. So I had a classmate, in my school, and he challenged me. He said, "Yeah, you can't do anything." That because we had a school activity where you do something in the fields. There were small fields were allocated to the students, that you grow the carrots or the radish,
Radish.
or the something or other, you and see that whose field is the best will get the prize. Okay. So I got the first prize, and his field was next to me. And but then he said, "Okay, just getting the first prize in this, what's the fun, what's the use? But you're not good in studies, you run away from the school. I will see that you are really good if you also sit in the class, and you top there, you come first there. Otherwise, I don't believe you." I think that challenge has made the first turnaround in my life. I started
Yes.
sticking to the class. Making that clay modeling was also one of the activities which all we had to do.
Yes.
Study memorize the numbers, the all those things. So then came that, when I was in class fifth, so this school was not in my village. This school was in some other village, so I had to really walk, almost 5-6 kilometers to reach to the school. You know, cross the river and all those things. And if there's raining very much, then you can't cross the river, so you will be, just sitting at the banks of the river, like that. So when we had the fifth exams, the board examination, so our Master Ji, we used to call him Guruji. So he
Yes.
wanted that my students should really prepare well and do well in the examination. So he called all the students to his home, that for next 15-20 days, all the students will stay in his house. So that he had a big, the roof, that all used to sleep on the roof. He will teach them, and later on, all children will sleep there and get up early. And he used to wake up at 4 o'clock. Everybody, that early morning memories are very good.
Yes.
But I'm being the only girl in the class, so my parents didn't want to send me,
Okay.
to Master's place and all this. So then, fortunately, my father had a friend who was neighbor of this
Master
school
Ji.
teacher, and Masterji. And so my father's friend said, "Yeah, no, she should be with us. We will take responsibility, and we'll take her to Masterji's house, and we'll wait there till her studies are over. And in the night, we'll bring her back, and she will stay. And she's like our daughter." And I think that was a big support to me. Otherwise, had that not been the family, I don't think I would have given my fifth
True.
board exam. And that time we used to do the board examination. And that, this boy which I was talking, was who challenged me. So his seat was at the, next to me. And the first day I was late for the examination, about a few minutes. He did not start the exam till I reached.
Wow.
And he said, otherwise it will not be the fair competition.
My
Wow.
goodness.
So he said, "See that I have not written anything. Let's start the exam. See and who comes first." Okay, and we gave our fifth examination, and both of us topped the school.
Oh,
Because God was very kind to us. And but the fortunate thing was that my parents had this dream, and they wanted me to send out from the village to the next school, which was about 15-20 kilometers away, and they had to put me in the boarding school because they didn't want me to travel every day by bus, because it was not safe in that region.
Hmm.
It was Tarai region of UP.
Hmm.
That time it was really, really very bad situation. So was
Hmm.
not traveling by road was not safe, or but traveling by cycle was not safe.
Hmm.
And but not unfortunately, this boy could not go
Hmm.
for his next level of education, and he had to
Oh,
Yeah.
finish. Even today,
Good.
I feel when I meet him, I feel that he should have done the education further. May would have been
Hmm.
better than me. Okay, because he was
Hmm.
really, really good. And so I went to the boarding school. I did my. It was very close to about 15-20 kilometers from my home, and it was my hostel was in the Gurdwara premises.
okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
so that was the first, that every morning and evening you go to Gurdwara,
Prayers, yeah.
Gurdwara. Yeah.
go
Right.
to the
Hmm.
Almighty, and then
Wow.
seek the blessings, and then go to the school. And I
Hmm.
think that was also impacted me for a long term. That very strong
Ji.
belief in Gurbani.
Ji. Ji. Ji.
And so that also inside that all the time
Hmm.
comes. And so since I uh, you know when I went for the so then from that school, my parents sent me to Nainital. It was a big place. It was really,
Hmm.
really big difference for me, big change for me, coming from small town, from village to a small town, that where I study my sixth, seventh, and all. Then coming to a
Hmm.
big city like Nainital. For me, the Nainital was really, really something a big, big city.
Hmm. Hmm.
Coming there and doing my secondary and senior secondary education, again being in the hostel. Fortunately, that I got the great opportunities in the school, being the student leadership, being the the secretary, the vice president, and the president of student council in the in the school. And in the hostel also, I was given the responsibility. That one of the very important responsibility, that you manage the hostel mess and
Okay.
the student
That is the
welfare
biggest
activity.
one. Ji. Ji.
So,
Haan
so
ji.
ma'am,
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
So
your mentors, your teachers, they identified your leadership skills since childhood. This is what I can make out, because even you can align with me that even teachers don't assign things just like that, because they also either groom somebody, or they bring out what is there already. So you are a born leader, ma'am.
so what
So
अंशुल जी
happened when
एक
I
क्वेश्चन हमसे पूछिए मैम
so
सॉरी
what
टू
happened?
इंटरप्ट
Yeah.
एक
Yes.
चाइल्डहुड में एक इंसिडेंट जो मिसेस इंदिरा गांधी वाला था, जब आप अपने भाई बहनों के साथ बैठी हुई थी, रात में कहानियों का दौर चल रहा था आपके पेरेंट्स के साथ, और आपके पेरेंट्स ने जब आपसे पूछा था, और आपके पेरेंट्स यानी आपके पिताजी का क्या रिप्लाई था, वो प्लीज वो जर्नी से थोड़ा सा बताइए और फिर आगे।
I will be sharing that. I will be sharing
जी जी
that with you. So in the school, that when I became the school president, the student council president,
वाओ
and I being from the science background, some of my teachers were not very happy that this is not for the science students. But I had my great teacher, the physics teacher. She said, no, this is very good and it will help you in your future. And it used to be her class should be the first class. So she allowed me to come to the class, because one of the very important responsibility was that we had to check that whether the student have come in the school uniform or not. If any of
ओके
the student has not come in the school uniform,
फाइन
me as a president, vice president, secretary, joint secretary, we have to send them back, that you are
oh,
not allowed in the school.
the
So
discipline
that way
committee.
that used to get late. So we used to
जी
get
जी
late by maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And but this teacher of my physics, Madam Khati, she never ever said, and rather she said, in the lunchtime you come to my cabin, I will explore, explain you. My biology teacher, Madam Floria, she said, you come to, I will explain you. And my mathematics teacher, Dr. Pankaj, she said, you come, I will explain you. But my Sanskrit teacher, she made me to stand outside the class. You can't come to my class here. Okay, but I think that was also a great learning, that you
जी
finish your task on time and be punctual for the class.
वेरी
I think that's what my Sanskrit teacher taught me, and I really take that her teaching in a big way. But
जी
at that time, you used to feel bad, but I think
why
when
I'm
I
standing out
uh,
yeah president and
Yeah.
when I'm out.
So when my 12th, because this madam, used to, Arya madam, and she used to tell that, Balvinder, you will not pass in 12th.
Okay.
Okay. And when I topped the college, she was the
Wow.
first teacher to congratulate me and take me to the principal's room. He look at this girl. She has done managed the school as the president of school student council, and she has also topped the college, and she has really made us proud. I think so. So learnings are from all teachers. If you look at with a very open minds, because the teachers and the parents are two who nurture you like anything, and my teachers really nurture. So back to my childhood, because my parents had dinner. So every evening after the dinner, it was a practice in my house that parents, my father, my tayaji, they will sit, and tell us the stories or something like that. And then also, so one day they asked, my brother, both the brothers, my sister, my cousin brother, tayaji's son, and me, what you people want to be in your life, one by one. So I said, I want to be Indira Gandhi. So my father said, there's only one Indira Gandhi. There can't be another Indira Gandhi. You tell me what else you want to be. Why you want to be Indira Gandhi, I said, I like, she is among all the men, only women. So I want to be, like that. So my papa said, then better for that you have to study a lot. Else you can't become the Indira Gandhi. To become like her, you don't come from that family background. For you to reach to that kind of personality, you have to study. You have to work very hard. You have to be honest. You have to be committed to the purpose. And you have to think for the, before doing anything, you have to think, am I doing right or wrong? You have to think for the society. So my father had a really dream that I become a doctor, or I become a
Lovely,
civil
brilliant,
servant.
ma'am.
That's the two things he believed, that I will serve the society. So though I could not get through the medicine, though my father took me to Bihar, I almost got the admission in medical college in Bihar, but they demanded some donation, and I said I will not go to
Okay.
a medical college who are seeking the donation. I said, no, if
Wow.
I get on my merit, it's fine. Otherwise, no, I will not take the admission. So my father, along with my friend, who was my best friend, with her we both went. Even, and plus secondly, we were not getting the hostel facility, so that was we had to stay outside. So
Oh,
arrangement was being made. For some time my mother will go and sometime her mother will go. So I said, papa, second thing, I want to stay in the hostel, not outside. And
जी.
you are ready to give the donation, so why should, that means I'm not capable. So I will try next year, and then if I get through, is fine. If I don't get through, will God may be having something else. So my father said, okay, fine. So then I got into, after doing my masters from Kumai University, and I by that time I met Suren, who is my now husband. When I was just doing my 12th, I met him, and then we studied in the same university. So I that time, I tell you, I did not know, is there any institution called IIT? So
Okay.
he
जी.
filled up the form for me for the IIT gate, and he filled his form also for IIT gate. So we both of us we gave. So we cleared. So I got admission in IIT Kharagpur. He got admission in IIT Kanpur. And it's very interesting. I was not from the biology background, mathematics background.
mathematics.
जी.
I was
जी.
from the biology background at that time. Biology background students were not given admission in IITs.
Oh, oh. जी. Mathematics
Okay.
is must.
Yeah, so mathematics was must.
Hmm.
So they had, because now I reached for the counseling and everything. Now you cannot deny me a seat. So the IIT Kharagpur accepted me as the
Wow.
counseling was in IIT Kanpur, but the IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur, they didn't accept. So Madras said, we'll take her. Okay. And from IIT Kanpur, after my MTech, I got a Commonwealth scholarship. I went for my doctorate to UK. I got a really, really good scholarship. But the certain things sometimes do not happen the way you wish to happen, or with the way everything was going fine. Though my, my parent, my mother and father, they had all the dream for my our education. Uh, and of all the four siblings, whether my eldest sister, she studied till 8th class. She could not travel every day to that school, which was 15, around 15 kilometers away, because she used to travel by cycle and it was not safe. Bus frequency was not regular. So she had no option but to discontinue her studies after 8th. And but my father had a great deal for my elder brother for his education, but he did not have interest in studies. He wanted to buy it. He wanted to buy a tractor and and be the farmer. So no,
खेती करने का
my father really tried very hard for his education, but he did not study at all. So after class 9th, he discontinued. But me and my younger brother, my younger brother had done CA, CS, and from that region at that time, not only from village, for whole region, he was the first chartered accountant and company secretary.
wow
And it was a great achievement for our family. So being a girl, and in our society, in our village, girls' education was not encouraged at all. Going out of the village was,
more hurdle
unimaginable.
जी जी
Out
जी
of the
So a
box
lot of
kind of
hurdles.
question.
And my biggest hurdle for my education was my own brother, elder brother.
oh
And
okay
he said, no,
Okay.
she has, done, she should not be going for more education. We should look for some right match for her. And, and a lot of offer used to come. And so my brother used to be quite tempted. And I remember that there was a one match came, at that time I was in my graduation. And and they came, and they had, I think, number of rice mills and all those things. And I was not very interested at all. I cried whole night and everything. But my hubby said, now since your brother has committed and all those things, I said, you have to save me out of it. Okay, she said, I will try to do, but let's see. Yeah? So whatever I had to tell that boy, the next day, that I will not do this thing, I will not do this thing, all those things. I
Okay.
thought he will reject me.
okay
Okay. Unfortunately, he did not reject me. So, but he committed one mistake. So he asked that, that will like to, what all you will give to in dowry.
dowry okay
My brother, same brother who never liked my education, he really got furious. He said, I would have given so much to my sister, but since you people have demanded, we would not like to have this.
wow
You know,
that's a good one
so, yes.
जी
that were the great blessings to me, I would say, and
yes
I think I was very lucky. And so my father was very much relieved because he never wanted. And
okay
so when I got the scholarship and all this admission, and I did Kharagpur. The elder brother was not happy. Almost for 1 week, he kept on, being, very
Disappointed.
sort of,
bullying
keep on telling and trying to convince my
हाँ
पेरेंट्स
parents
क्या बड़ी हो गई है आप, क्यों
शादी
क्या
कीजिए
पढ़ाओगे, क्या कि ये नौकरी करेगी, ये क्या, कुछ नहीं,
हाँ
हमारे यहाँ लड़कियों को नौकरी कहाँ करने देते हैं,
जी जी जी
एंड तो माय फादर सेड कि इस हर डेस्टिनी, वो क्या करेगी, उसकी किस्मत है, पढ़ाई किस्मत वालों को मिलती है, सबको नहीं मिलती है, शादी होती रहेगी, जब उसका संयोग होगा, नहीं संयोग होगा तो नहीं होगा,
बहुत बढ़िया
और भगवान ने हर एक का संयोग बनाया होता है, हर एक का रिश्ता होता है, बूढ़ी हो जाएगी, हो सकता है तभी संयोग मिले उसको, दैट्स द काइंड ऑफ माय फादर एंड मदर वर देयर.
जी
So I when I went to Kharagpur, and that's the time, uh, it was sometime in August. My mother was detected with brain cancer, and my mother had to get hospitalized in PGI Chandigarh.
जी
And so initially she recovered quite well. Sometime in October, I went to see her. September, October, I went to see her, and she improved quite a lot at that time. My elder sister, my father, my mama ji and mami ji, my mother's youngest brother, and his entire family. They were looking after my mother, and I think the first time I've seen the love between my mother and my father, the way my father served my mother, उतनी सेवा मैंने किसी हस्बैंड को अपनी वाइफ की करते हुए नहीं देखा जो मेरे फादर ने मेरे माँ के लिए किया. you know
जी जी
that's a they I knew that उन दोनों में बहुत अच्छी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है. They're great friends. They were more than friends than the husband wife.
जी जी
They were so open to discuss everything, and they were great partner.
जी
If they were not such a partner, I don't think they would have achieved build the biggest farm from nothing and give the education to us. So by the when I was in Chandigarh, so we had a family guru जिनको हम बहुत मानते हैं, भाई साहब कहते थे. तो उनसे मेरी मुलाकात हुई. काफी देर बैठ के I showed my MTech dissertation to him, and where I gave the acknowledgement to Suren also, that he has been a great help to for my MTech studies and all. And that time, Bhai Sahab asked me about Suren, who is this boy and all those things. What are your thoughts about him and all? So then he told my Papa ji at that time only, this is a boy who will be a great match for your daughter. And the way he will give you respect to the family, none of your children will give so much respect the way he will respect you and take care of you. And that came really true the way the last times and days of my father, the way my husband took care of my father.
जी
It's only few people can do.
जी
So I was into double mind what to do. So, but then I was, convinced by my father, my mama ji, and this bhai sahab. Now you go back to IIT, complete your MTech, and because we all are here to take care of her, you are not going to do anything, something special. And my Didi also took permission from her mother-in-law and father-in-law to be by my mother's side almost for 4 or 5 months, in Chandigarh and then in the village. So in December last week, I came back after completing my Viva of MTech, and when I came home, I was preparing for my going to UK, but then I saw my mother has also come home, and by that time her condition was deteriorated very badly, very badly. Her one side got paralyzed. She lost her eyesight. She lost her voice. Now can't see, can't speak, and the only thing she can hear.
जी
But you can't feel that what are her emotions and all those things. And by this time I already got the three-time extension for almost for 3 months, that I will join my PhD late because IIT Kharagpur did not permit to leave before December. They said only December. Then after, because we will have your Viva only in December, no matter how hard you have worked in during the summer time. But this is the institution rule, and you have to wait and you have to work more. So now at that stage when I'm at home and looking at my mother, so my heart was with my mother, that I wanted to be there. My head was not able to decide. My father continued to say that, remember what was your mother's dream for your education. And today she cannot speak, but heart to heart she wants that you should go. Remember that day when you come and shared with us, that you have got this Commonwealth scholarship from UK, how excited was your mother was, and our. Remember that day, not that today what condition is. So you must go. And even at that time, those elders of the village, who were very
they
close
might be
to our
against
family,
it.
they all said, no, you should go. And even at that time, my elder brother was not at all favor कि पापा ये अब विदेश चली जाएगी तो कभी लौट के नहीं आएगी.
जी जी
तो मेरे पापा ने कहा कि बेटे, अगर उसका भाग्य होगा वही सेटल होने का तो वही सेटल हो जाएगी. बेटी तो वैसे पराया धन होती है, बेटी अपना धन कहाँ होती है. तो वो उसकी किस्मत है. और इस समय जो इस मुकाम पे पहुंची है, अब इस समय उसको किसी चीज के लिए रोकना ये बहुत गलत है. देश में कितनी लड़कियां हैं जिनको ऐसा सौभाग्य मिलता है, और स्पेशली जो एक गांव की लड़की है
जी
उसको किसको ऐसा मौका मिलता है, किसको सरकार पैसा दे, विदेशी सरकार पैसा दे और अपने यहाँ पे बुलाए पढ़ने के लिए। तो ये तो हमारे लिए, हमारे परिवार के लिए बहुत फख्र की चीज है, जाने देना चाहिए। तो तो my brothers, both my elder brother and my younger brother both came to Delhi to see me off.
ये
So my elder brother said कि देखो तुम्हारी ये टिकट पे पैसा लगा रहे हैं ना, ये तुमको वापस करना होगा,
वापस करना,
you know.
जी जी जी
but I tell you from heart, I think from heart he was too good a person that he only had कि मेरी बहन के एक अच्छे परिवार में शादी हो जाए तो मेरा रुतबा बढ़े, मेरा वो बढ़े. That was his intentions, not anything else.
Of course,
That
ma'am.
was
Because in that decade, like going abroad or sending your daughter abroad, it's a big deal. उस समय का जो परिस्थितियां थी, परिवेश थे, उस समय बेटी बाहर जाए, पढ़ने जाए या गांव से ही बाहर जाए, मैम बहुत सारी हर्डल्स होती थी. और आपके जिस हिसाब से आप बता रहे हैं कि पेरेंट्स की साइड से जो सपोर्ट और भैया के साथ जो जो चलता रहा प्यार मोहब्बत, वो क्या बात है मैम, मजा आ गया.
पर ऐसा है कि
पेरेंट्स का
जब हमारा होता था ना, चारों बहन भाइयों में, सब भाई बहनों में झगड़ा होता, हमारा भी चारों भाई बहन का झगड़ा होता था.
जी जी जी.
और वो खास तौर से हमारा झगड़ा होता था दोपहर में लंच के टाइम पे.
क्या बात,
क्योंकि वही टाइम होता है सब इकट्ठे हो रहे हैं और उसके बाद थोड़ा सा लंच कर लिया, फिर रिलैक्स हो रहे हैं सब कुछ, तो वो टाइम होता था हमारा फाइट का भी. तो उस समय होती थी कौन किसकी साइड में है. मेरे भाई ने मेरे को डांटा है, पीटा है, लेकिन मैं साइड उसी की लेती थी. और मेरी छोटा ब्रदर और दीदी एक साइड होते थे, तो उसकी और बड़े भाई की और मेरी बॉन्डिंग बहुत ज्यादा थी. एंड मतलब बहुत बहुत ज्यादा वो था. लेकिन उनका एक ही था कि यू नो बेटी है घर की, लड़की है, समाज क्या कहेगा, समाज की उनको ज्यादा चिंता थी. दैट वेयर हिज फोकस वाज देयर. पर बट माय पेरेंटल साइड, स्पेशली माय Nanihal side, they were, my mamajis were very educated. So my mother always saw her brothers and she wanted to see the same thing in her children, कि मेरे बच्चे भी मेरे भाइयों की तरह से पढ़ेंगे. And so that was her. And my father also had very great relationship with my mamajis and all. तो पापा को भी ये रहता था जैसे दीप हैं, करम हैं, वैसे ही बलविंदर, गुरबच्चन, ये लोग क्यों ना हो. वो बहुत ज्यादा था. Because we used to spend our every summer with our cousins from mama mami side or bua side, so that was our very strong knitted family. Yes. So when I went to UK, I think my mother passed away within 2 weeks of my going. But my family didn't share with me almost for 3 months. In the month of April, I got a letter from my niece. She was just about at that time about 12, 13, 11 years kind of thing. And she sent a letter कि बुआ ऐसा है कि दादी जी तो रही नहीं है, लेकिन पापा और दादाजी दोनों ही नहीं चाहते हैं कि आपको पता चले, इसलिए मैं आपको ये फोटो भेज रही हूँ, किसी को नहीं पता है घर में, और जो है आपको बता रही हूँ, क्योंकि उनको ये डर है कि अगर आपको पता चल गया तो आप वापस आ जाओगे. So within 3 days I was back in India. तो मेरे पापा को ना बड़ा बहुत अजीब सा लगा कि ये क्यों आई है. तो थोड़ा सा नाराज भी हुए मेरे से, लेकिन खुश भी हुए, क्योंकि वो उनके लिए उनकी लाइफ का शायद ग्रीफ का सबसे बड़ा मोमेंट था. वही लॉस हिज लाइफ पार्टनर, जो कि उनकी बहुत अच्छी दोस्त थी. तो उसमें ना फिर तो मैं रही, आई रिमेन्ड विद हिम फॉर अबाउट 3 weeks. He convinced me to go back to UK and complete the mission which I have left incomplete, and come back home. And so then so after completing my PhD and by 89, and then also in between getting married and having my son was born in 1989. And we decided, we had one great teacher who used to say, you should get the global education. Always he used to encourage, because he was Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar awardee, and so many the awards he got. And he said, and he had traveled across the globe to give the lectures and all those things. So he always said, you should explore globally, but come back to your own motherland and
Roots.
serve your
जी.
nation, not any
Hmm.
other nation. You should serve your own country. I think
Wow.
that was so strong a feeling, and
Hmm.
so both of us decided to come back. Though all our friends stay back in UK, or they move to USA or Australia or
Hmm.
Canada, and they are settled today in those countries, and we are the only one from that whole
People from
circle
that
who
lot.
came back
Hmm.
to India. But I think we took the right decision. I always consider. Sometimes my children do ask, "मम्मी आपने क्यों ऐसा डिसीजन लिया?
हाँ. क्यों
आपका
वापस?
डिसीजन था कि पापा का डिसीजन था?" तो
जी
मैंने
जी.
कहा हमारा दोनों का डिसीजन था.
हाँ.
अब ये बड़े डिफिकल्ट है to point out कि who decided,
हाँ.
but back in mind many times it comes. I think that was also big. Our professors saying that you do something for your own nation.
But
जी.
And
I
my
think
father also, my father said, with your education, you do something for the society.
yeah.
The
जी.
day I got my PhD, my father was so happy, and especially, he said, someday you may become a teacher. And
Okay.
teacher has very important role in shaping the
Kids.
character of.
Characters and nation.
So that was my father's death. So I came to India when my husband got the government job with us. Uh, you know, Center for the CRIS, Center for Railway Information System. It was
Okay.
just new center was established, and he being the IT professional,
Hmm.
and it's a very good job he got. I got a CSI fellowship for the postdoctoral. Worked with the Delhi University,
Okay.
but within a year I realized, getting a job in government university is not possible. I'm an
Hmm.
outsider. I don't have any
Okay.
godfather. I'm not. I don't have any
Hmm.
godfather or anything, and I will
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
get the job. Because when I spoke to various people, including my mentor, Professor Tandon, who later on became the pro vice chancellor of Delhi University, and he
Hmm.
said that Balvinder आसान नहीं है यहाँ पे.
Hmm.
And my
Hmm.
other mentor, Dr. V. Sharma,
जी.
very clearly कहा कि बलिंदर कोई chances नहीं है कि दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में, because there's a long queue, and being my husband shuttling between Kanpur and Lucknow and Delhi, managing a child alone, and not having that complete family. I
Hmm. Hmm.
decided, we decided, let me get back to Lucknow, because that's our home is Lucknow, where my
जी.
in-laws, all the brother-in-law, sister-in-law live. So I got my fellowship transfer to Lucknow University, Delhi. They
Delhi.
were they were
Okay.
almost around 10, 12 the postdocs fellows who are there for 15 years or 18 years,
Okay.
waiting for their turn to become the faculty there. So that means
Oh.
I may get another 15 years. So that's the day I decided to quit my dream of
Hmm.
getting the government job, and I joined
जी.
the industry.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I worked with the very big conglomerate of multi-product conglomerate as a zonal head and corporate head corporate planning. Used to shuffle between Bombay and Delhi quite a lot, and
Okay.
my husband had such a great support to me that he will take care of our son and everything, since that's my job was traveling. But what happened then, I started missing many things in life,
Hmm.
and it's not a fun to be in the corporate.
Hmm.
And that something happens in life you don't actually plan. I think
Hmm.
I was very, very fortunate. I met Dr. Chauhan, the
Okay.
founder of Amity, and he invited me to AKC House, which is our corporate uh, office as well as the family house. So I was invited there. Spent almost quite a lot time. Dr. Chauhan, in a way, kind of interviewed me, or just tried to understand me, asked me to interview a couple of candidates, do this, do that. And so I thought, because I was working with this industry at that time, um, so I didn't have any income. But at the end of the day, he gave me an offer letter.
Oh.
Okay.
This is the letter.
Wow.
Hmm.
And so I was really amazed. I'm very thankful to him. And after taking the letter, I was back in my office working like as a normal. You know what happened just before Diwali, and this what happened. It was before Diwali when I met Dr.
Ji.
Chauhan. So at the time of Diwali, our corporate office was in Bombay, and that got enforcement directorate, raided our office in Bombay, and my
Okay.
managing director was in great trouble, and came to know.
Hmm.
And I, being the head corporate planning, my own office in Bombay
Hmm.
got ransacked like anything, to take the important. And the next, I was the target in Delhi. Okay.
Okay.
So
Good.
I knew that the next day, and we had a plan to go to, as a family, to go to Lucknow for Diwali,
Ji.
because we
Ji. Ji.
celebrate, even till today, we celebrate certain
Together.
festivals
Solve the
either
festival.
in Lucknow with the family,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
they come from Lucknow to here. Okay.
Ji.
So now, so I told my husband that this is something very urgent has come, and I have to take care of my office. So my husband, my daughter, my son, all they went to Lucknow, and I stayed back, and I got my office cleared, all those documents which are not
Ji. Ji.
not to be,
Okay.
under
Sure.
invoicing, lot of things happen.
Ji.
So those we settled, and the cash in the office taken care of, all those things. So next morning, enforcement director people
Okay.
came to came to my office. So
Hmm.
when I entered my office, so my receptionist told me, "Madam, these people are there,
Hmm. Hmm.
So I said, let me sit there at the reception.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I had a great secretary who
Ji.
worked with Modi's for many years. And so he
Ji.
told me a day before, he said, ma'am, if they come, don't give
Hmm.
any heed to them.
Hmm.
Okay. So I did some work, and then, you know, they told me that Manju was, my accounts person, and she used to look after. If somebody is not coming, she used to also sit at the reception. So that day Manju was sitting at the reception also. So she
Hmm.
came
Hmm.
inside. Then I said, okay, you can send them. So they came to my office. So वो जो होते हैं ना enforcement director के लोग, जैसे उनके तेवर होते हैं सब,
Hmm.
they
Ji.
said that. तो मैंने कहा, अच्छा आप बताइए आपको क्या चाहिए। कहते हैं हमको आपका सारा ऑफिस खंगालना है। मैंने कहा, मेरे ऑफिस में क्या खंगालोगे।
Hmm.
कहते हैं हमको आपके, मैंने कहा ये देखिए, ये लिस्ट है फाइल्स की, ये
Hmm.
सामने लगी हुई, आप मुझे बता दीजिए कौन सी फाइल चाहिए, तो ये मेरा सेक्रेटरी है, ये निकाल के आपको दे देगा।
Hmm.
और
हाँ.
अगर आपको खुद देखनी है तो ये लिस्ट है, आप ये लिस्ट ले जाइए, और ये अलमारियों में उसमें लगी हुई है, आप खुद निकाल लो जो आपको कन्वीनियंट हो। कहते हैं हम अपने आप अलमारियों में ढूंढ लेंगे, हमको तुम्हारी कोई सहायता की जरूरत नहीं है। Okay, they went, they searched for few files, they could not find. Then they took the list. As per list, they started searching. They could not really succeed much. But then later
हाँ.
on, they said,
Hmm.
okay, no. They picked a few files. They
Hmm.
said, give these files to us. So
Hmm.
Nair brought those files and showed to him.
Hmm.
They couldn't find anything
Hmm.
in those files. And so then, that we were, by the time it was lunch. So I offered the lunch to them. So they said, no, we don't take the lunch when we come for this kind of visit. And like,
Okay.
since we are having a lunch, you can also have a lunch, because this is a time.
Hmm.
We are not going to offer you a big buffet or something like that. It's a normal
Hmm.
thali you have. हाँ,
Hmm.
भूख तो सभी को लगती है ना, ऐसा तो है नहीं कि हमको लगेगी और आपको भूख नहीं लगेगी, आप खा लीजिए।
जी. हाँ.
आपको अपना जो काम करना है अपने तरीके से करो, उसमें हम कोई बाधा नहीं डालेंगे।
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
they had the lunch. Meanwhile, they asked if I come from where and all those things, my education and all those things. And by the end of the day, when they were leaving, they gave the clean chit to my office. So I was so relaxed or relieved that my office has got the clean chit. They did not find anything that they could make any case against my office, or my team. Okay. And if I had to now see that how I see the issues of my corporate office, because I was handling the issues of the corporate office also. And so while they were leaving the office, it was the Diwali gifts we were distributing to everybody. So I tried to give that gift to them. They were not taking. I said, see, we have not got any gift for you. Especially when you entered in my office, you saw my colleagues were packing the gifts and then they were taking those gifts out to give to the various clients. So
जी
one of those gifts we are giving to five of you. So it's not because it's a festival. आपने तो जो हमारा फेस्टिवल मनाना था वो मना दिया है, लेकिन हम अभी भी आपको जो विश करेंगे हैप्पी दिवाली, क्योंकि दिस दिवाली इज ऑफ प्रॉस्पेरिटी. तो आपको आपके परिवार को दिवाली खूब मुबारक हो. तो thankfully they gave that clean check and we went. And after the Diwali, and I got a call from Honorable Founder President of in January. Are you joining? So I said yes.
Okay.
But because this incident has happened, I had to really take a call कि मैं तो ऐसे environment में नहीं रह पाऊंगी, because I have come from UK and all those things, never seen this thing in my life. Because business people, what they do, I don't want to get into that kind of things. So I asked my MD, कि अब आप बाहर आ गए हो, आप अपना बिजनेस संभालो, लेकिन मेरे को भी इजाजत दो. And so no, by that time I tell you, I had taken some loan from interest-free loan from him. So it was the greatness of him. He did not ask me to return that money to him. He said, "जब तुम अपना return कर देना, and okay, you can leave the condition कि you will select a person, your successor, okay, and you will train that person." I said, "My promise, I will train that person, and I will get a person better than me." Okay. And when I select this person, that person I offered him a salary more than what I was getting, and gave the better facility. And my MD was, he said, "How can you recruit somebody, with a salary higher than you?" I said, "He is more qualified, more experienced than me, and he knows this industry better than me, and he deserves more salary than me. It's not that what I am getting, the person should get the salary less than me." Okay. So I got the clearance from that organization. I joined MIT. Thereafter, I think the MIT has transformed my life, and in a big way. So what I am today is because of my father, who gave me that education. I got a wonderful husband who supported me like anything for my career aspirations, and I've got a great leader who's like a father figure to me, who nurtured me, who removed. I had so many weaknesses. I was not like this when I joined MIT, but Dr. Chauhan polished me. He nurtured me. He groomed me, what I am today, and he really, really helped me. There have been a moment when I really cried like anything, and but it was his support, his guidance, his mentoring, that I was able to sail through. And I'm here today where you are seeing me, to whom you are, interacting with. So that's my life story.
My
And
goodness, ma'am.
God has been really, really kind to me.
Anshul ji, maza aa raha hai, like ma'am.
Of course, ma'am. You won't believe.
Questions and yes.
So many times during your, when you are sharing your story, I got goosebumps across my body. And, only one thing which came to my mind is big success does not come without big challenges. And I think the kind of challenges you have faced throughout your life, it is like a hurdle race, that happens in Olympics and other games. But really, it is so inspirational, ma'am. And let me tell you, when you are saying you were not like this or you were not polished, this might be your feeling, but I believe into one thing, that I am not what I feel. I am what others feel about me. So, ma'am, for us, I shared with you when we met in person, that you were like a case study to us. because when you were working in Amity University, the kind of work Amity was doing and other institution in UP Technical University, they were not able to make up to that level. And I was working with GLA University then, and I told you that Neeraj Agarwal sir, and we used to discuss a lot about you, how she's able to manage so many companies to her campus. And so it is not that you were not polished, ma'am, you were like that. And I would say that in your hands, the way you have nurtured Amity Universe, it is amazing. The kind of global parity that you have brought into this university, and the courses that we have in Amity University, it is phenomenal. And so many people that is they are resonating with what I'm saying. And starting from Mr. Professor Singh, who worked with you. And then we have Sumedha Mohan also, who's congratulating you. We have Vandana, who is saying she's true inspiration. We have Mr. Habib, and he's also saying, Madhur and I is saying, yes, she's so inspiring.
Proud
And
of you,
yeah. And Vandana, Sumedha, Gajendra. So everybody, you are a role model to so many people. And I think I told you during our meeting also that we never met when I was growing in my professional career, but you were always a case study to us. We always used to follow your path, your ways of working, and it is really, really very admirable that you have done. And one thing that again I'll say कि जो आपकी स्टोरी सुनने के बाद मेरे माइंड में आता है, जहन में आता है, रोशनी सिर्फ चिरागों से नहीं, रोशनी सिर्फ चिरागों से नहीं, शिक्षा से भी घर रोशन होते हैं. So ma'am, you have not only lightened only your house, your university, but you have enlightened so many people, so many students' lives, so many teachers' lives, and so many professionals who came into your contact directly or indirectly. So you are really one of the most admirable female, I would say, in our country. And we are blessed that you did not settle there in UK. And please tell your kids that
agree.
Yeah, so we are blessed because you came here, and now we are learning so much from you. So not only your kids, but you have made so many students and so many people's life so successful in because in 20 years or more than 20 years of your life with Amity University, thousands and lakhs of students have been passed out from this university, and as they have
Successful.
success. Yeah, they're very successful, and they have climbed the ladder of success in professional life. So thank you so much for this, ma'am. But though we know so many challenges, everything you faced, and you are a true born leader since your childhood. The way you have handled situations with the support of your father, and later your brother, and Surender sir also. But like at workplace, you may not get all these supports. At workplace, it would be only you who's going to handle the things. So was there any kind of challenges that you faced? Because in our
woman, yes.
Yeah, there are very less women who reach to the level of vice chancellor of any university, and that too of such a huge and the largest university. So any gender biasedness that you faced, maybe within the team or outside the team, please share any such incident if that happened in your life.
Thank you very much. As I said, meeting Dr. Chauhan in 1997 and then joining MIT in 98 has really transformed my life. Okay. I would say it has been a great journey from 98 and a great opportunity because MIT just was established the higher education. And and it was established with a very great grand vision of Dr. Chauhan that it's not like one of that kind of just higher education institution, and but he had a vision to make it a really a truly a global enterprise. And I remember that when he used to speak to the students, to the faculty and staff, he used to share his vision that what he will be making the IMT, what he has vision.
Okay.
And so I was given a responsibility of the corporate relations. Okay. And because since I come from the corporate world, so this is what the responsibility I was given, that you go back to the corporate, build a relationship which can translate into the placements of the student, the internship of the student, corporate trainings, and all kind of things, consultancy and all. And so I think that to be, to perform that role, so I had to, so how I can really reach out to the industry people. I used to make calls to the industry people. They will not respond and everything. There were very few people who will return your call. And so I became the member of the various professional body, whether it was National HRD Network, whether All India Management Association or National HRD Network, or Noida Management Association, or the TIE, so many organizations. And secondly, that I met some great people during my initial days at Amity for building that corporate relations. And that's where I met people like Mr. D.K. Bakshi, and Mr.
जी
Subhash Chapota, and Mr. Rajan Datta, and Mr. G.P. Rao, and so many these, and the P.N. Shukla ji, and who became such a great well-wisher and the friends of Amity. Okay, and the way they helped me, the way they supported me, at any platform and every platform, that life became very easy for me to building that strong relationship with the corporate world. I learned from these people, from like what really is truly a networking. I learned from Mr. D.K. Bakshi.
Oh,
Okay, how to build the business. So
he's
I
already
tell
here
you,
now.
uh, wonderful to have you, Mr. Bakshi. I cannot forget you that, what you and the team, and we built and we created an organization Amity called AMCON. These were all the founding member. And we used to have our meetings, and really then I became, with the support of and all, when I became the vice president of Noida Management Association, and then the woman president of Noida Management Association. I think Dr. Chauhan supported in big way all my initiative at Noida Management Association. I was the IMA council member. All activities of IMA council, whether it's having the national management games, so many things. Or the Dr. Chauhan always said, the association with the professional bodies is extremely important to support their activities and all. So I think that gave me a great opportunity to build my very strong network with the corporate world. I remember, when we used to have the corporate meets, on the campus, or else, anywhere. And founder president used to say with a lot of taking a lot of pride that my Shukla, knows the thousands of CEOs and all those things. But it was because he gave that kind of freedom to me, you know, and the support, not only freedom, but along with that, the kind of support he gave me, and the kind of trust and confidence he imposed in
sure.
me.
Yeah.
I was able to do whatever. So I was very good in building the relationship outside, but I
जी
was not good in building the relationship inside. And that
जी
was my challenge, because my role was to take the student out from the classroom and have their interaction with the industry. And my colleagues had the role to take the student to the classroom and do the teaching learning for them.
okay
How to balance that? So that was the first challenge I had as a director CRC, and the vice president of the foundation. How do I balance with my colleagues? And that's the first, I always had the challenge to building my relationship with inside. But I did not have that time, because I knew that if I can bring one more industry person to my campus for interaction with my students, that will be a better, rather than spending time with my with my colleagues, having a cup of tea, having the lunch together and all those things. I consider today that was my mistake. I should have spent some time with my colleagues at that time. But I think whatever happens, happens for better. Okay. And because even today, so that was the first challenge. Second was because Amity Business School was not known at that time. So how really ensure that Amity Business School, initial years I'm talking, till 2005 when the Amity University was established, how to make this Amity Business School known in the corporate world. And so that we have the good quality placements and 100% placement, because Honorable Founder President used to announce that we will place every single student. And that means it was my responsibility. So that was the initial phase, that today Amity is known worldwide. And but I still I am, from my bottom of my heart, I'm thankful to all those corporate people that who supported us in initial years, including when the Amity HRD Excellence Award was instituted. Amity and National HRD Network jointly instituted the HRD Excellence Award, and we had the top corporate leaders, that whether it was the Goodyear's chairman or whether the CEOs of the top companies, they were there, and that was a great success. And today, when we look at, and the next challenge came because after the CRC, when I had to move from the corporate relation to the academics, because my orientation was all the time with the industry. Now, bringing that orientation to academics was my next challenge. So how to really work with the colleagues, the academicians, and with the researchers. And how to bring that, the synergy between CRC team and the academic team. And that was my next challenge. And I think I managed quite well, because my chancellor, my president, Dr. Atul Chauhan, he was very clear that working together is very important. And I remember once founder president said, either coexist or no exist. And I think that was a great mantra, that that everyone has to learn to work together. Organization do not succeed by individuals. Organizations succeed by a team. And working as a team is very important. And I think that was my second lesson. And I really take a lot of pride that yes, I really worked very hard, and I really succeeded building a very close relationship with CRC and academic team. And I was very happy and comfortable, being the head of the Amity Business School, and I think I achieved everything in my life. And I did not have any wish list beyond, the kind of aspiration. But I think the organization need the people. So I remember Honorable Chancellor wanted me, in 2005 when the Amity University was established, and we had to move from Sector 44, from the school premises to the university's own campus. And we were so comfortable in that campus. And when Chancellor said, Dr. Shukla, you people have to move to Sector 125. Initially, I registered to that. And but I think I could not see through that time. That was the benefit being in our own campus. That means the next learning was that, one has to get out of his or her comfort zone and face the challenge. The challenge was because this campus was just building up. There was no faculty cabin, nothing, and so everything got built. And today this campus, which we say the best of the campus, and so we have seen that how all bricks have come, how everything has come, and living in that, and keeping the faculty motivated, keeping the student motivated in that, that was a challenge. But I think we had such a great support from our management, and we really managed the things together. So in 2008, Honorable Founder President, Honorable Chancellor wanted that. I think the role of Director General of Amity Business School is too small for me, and I should be given the bigger role. for which, to be very true, I was not prepared. And okay, and but they had the confidence in me. I would say they had the full confidence in me, and but I did not have that confidence in me. But I think their trust in me and their backing to me when I became the pro vice chancellor of the university. And I think when I look back, I see that how many initiatives I've taken, and so many things. When I look at the everything here, I see the some or other imprints are there of mine, and
जी
with the blessings of Dr. Chauhan and the guidance of my chancellor. And there's a challenge came. Okay, the pro vice chancellor had to look after the academics of the whole university, and all the campuses of this university. Lucknow campus were there. The later on the Dubai campus got added into this university. So my challenge was that how do I really bring the academic excellence? And then to bring that academic excellence, you need to have the competent faculty. The professional development of faculty was very important. Getting the right kind of faculty is important. The student satisfaction is another challenge, because if you don't have the satisfied students, how would you really if get the more students to the so if you have to grow the university, you need to have the existing faculty and students very satisfied. So we had to do so many things, use the technology, and created that great amity intranet called Amazon, and which brought the transparent communication and all those things. The same information to available to everybody at the click of the button, and that technology investment by our chancellor and building that, creating such a great enterprise helped us today during the pandemic time, that we
हाँ
could start our education without even a single day break. So while I was pro VC, and the challenge came that our engineering college, needed some kind of revamping. So my founder president and the chancellor said, Dr. Shukla, you have to go and take care of the engineering college.
engineering
And I
college
had
as well
no option but to take care. I said, how would I manage the, provinceship and the, head of the biggest college? And he gave the very clear directions to me that half day, first half, have to be in the engineering college, and
okay
you will not enter into the province's office in the first half. All your staff will come to you. And I think that was so I always believe, all strategies and paths were chosen in a manner that I was at the ease to performing my roles. And I was able to manage the engineering college, and I was able to turn around and take that to, highly
next level.
disciplined, growth oriented
Yes, ma'am.
an institution. And this, at the same time was able to manage this. So I was lucky that I had a great team in the both engineering college and a great team in the province's office, and the deans and the heads of institution who really supported me. So now your question of the gender, I think in amity that question of gender doesn't come.
Wow, that's
So
great. So
we have a,
vision. That's the
yeah,
vision of the
yes
chancellor and the
doesn't come. We have 50% women force, whether in the form of students or in the staff or the faculty. We
जी
have many leadership. The faculty, the female are on the leadership role. So we have created, that an environment and an ecosystem and the support facilities which support the woman.
that's
And
जी
it's
brilliant.
purely we are
That's
the
no
growth oriented organization.
जी
You have to have only the people who are committed, who are dedicated, who are result oriented, who are competent and capable, irrespective of their gender. Because if really this growth journey has to continue, you need to have that kind of people. And we all know the women are highly committed to the
yes,
whatever they
very
what they
true.
do.
Very true.
And we have so many great scientists in our university, who happens to be female also. So everything in this university is purely based on merit. So therefore, I did
जी
not face the challenge. But when I became the vice chancellor, because I had very senior colleagues who were more experienced than me, more qualified than me, and always more superior than me in many ways. But having given that responsibility of the vice chancellor,
जी
my challenge was, how do I win the heart of all of them? So what
जी.
change I need to make in myself, that till the head of, till the director CRC of Bindas Balvinder was no more that Bindas Balvinder,
You are.
and
Okay.
had to become very humble Balvinder.
Humble. जी, जी, जी.
So because you need to,
जी.
because at that time
How
my
to
role
deal with
was
seniors. जी.
be humble with the industry, but be, are different in the organization, the situation. So I would say the situation leadership became mantra for me, that you see the situation and you change yourself.
That's a very good point which
And
ma'am said कि
mm,
लीडरशिप टाइम के साथ आपको उसका वे बदलना पड़ेगा. मैम एक जगह आपने बोला था विमेन शुड स्टार्ट रेस्पेक्ट विमेन. ये किस लाइक क्या सोच के और क्या किन परिवेशों में आपने ये बोला कि एक औरत को एक औरत का सम्मान करना चाहिए? वैसे ये बहुत देखा जाए तो इट्स वेरी ट्रू मैम, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं लेग पुलिंग भी हमारी लेडीज ही एक दूसरे की करती हैं. तो व्हाट इज योर पर्सपेक्टिव?
see, I tell you, uh, having seen this word, the corporate word and the academic word, and being at this role, every day when I see certain things, okay, fortunately, in general, we do not have an issue at MIT, but when we look at the bigger perspective, we do see many examples. Okay, and it's very, if you really want a big support, women first have to come forward and support the woman, because a woman can understand the woman's issue better than a man, because a woman manages the two words, the family and the profession. In the profession, there's no differentiation that you are the female, so you will get the less work. Okay, when you get a role of leadership or anything, it is only expected from you that you perform. But how, as a female, we can support each other is very important. Understanding the other person's problem, the issue. That doesn't mean that, you say, okay, we will expect less performance from you. Having that fear of empathy, of understanding is very important. Rest, you have to work, because at the end of the day, you have to perform for your organization. So whatever your role you play. So leg pulling, I would say that leg pulling should not happen. It should be the cooperative and supportive. Rest is purely based on the performance. Purely based on the performance. Without performance, nothing can happen. Because if you start having the sympathetic view all the time, organizations will not function. Organizations will not grow. So as a leader, you have to differentiate where you have to have the soft corner and see the woman with the softer side, but at the same time, where you have to see all your colleagues, irrespective of male or female, with the fair eye. Okay, so that's a very thin balance, but you have to make it. And if you don't make it, you cannot. I remember, I give you one example. I had a colleague, so she was expecting. So I was at that time heading the MIT Business School, so she was expecting. So the washroom which are used by the lot of people. So she always had, she will have infection or something. So I said, you come and use my washroom, no issue. So that, and I used to tell all my colleagues, I said, please respect this woman. She's bringing a new person in this world. We should keep her happy all the time. If she is happy, she will bring happiness to this world.
Wow.
And if she is not happy, she will not be able to bring happiness. So therefore, to bring the new person in this world, the mother need to be very happy. So I said we should take, because when I was doing my PhD and when I was expecting my first child, I really got great support from my fellow scholars.
Okay.
They will carry my bag. They will, I had to, my office was, and my lab was in the first floor. My office was on the second floor. So they will carry my bag, take care of me, that I do not. And my husband really used to carry my bag, at home and all those things, taking care, all kind of things that I all the time have that comfort that that what a woman should be getting. So the woman need to be respected, women need to be supported, and if you're not, when my daughter was born, I used to tell my daughter, I think I did not tell that to my son ever, but I told my daughter that, better, you have to be independent. You have to be
Hmm.
independent financially, and you have to be self-supportive. If
Hmm.
you really want to have truly your independence, because when you are the financial independence, that gives you a lot of confidence
Hmm.
that you can do whatever you wish to do.
Hmm.
And secondly, I always say that family support is the biggest support
जी.
for the success of a woman. A man can succeed, but a woman cannot succeed without
Family.
the family support.
True, true.
Agree.
And
Agree.
that's very, very important. So
जी.
therefore, the colleagues of at Amity, I think I did not face that gender issue at all.
जी.
And I only looked at when I that what all we can create for the my colleagues, for the students. We have our PhD program where we have the great facility for the female student, even the maternity leave for the student also. The transfer from one campus to another campus to other university we support great way. We have the crutch for this for the students, all kind of the child benefit, so many things, work from home facilities, all kind of things, the support to the woman, so that they can take care of their family, and equally they can take care of their responsibility to build this great institution.
जी.
You need the participation of all the colleagues, and when especially the woman being happen to be almost 50%, how can you ignore and neglect them?
No.
They're very important.
हाँ.
So
It
there's no
is,
Very
gender
true.
biases in this organization.
yeah.
Anshul ji, shall we call Dr. Bakshi now?
Definitely. And before that, I would like to
Oh,
share
great.
one thing about, Dr. Bakshi, please be on, the panel. So one thing that I would like to share to audience is that normally we see, in corporates or even in education, that people work with their laptops or their desktop. But I have personally witnessed that Dr. Balvinder Shukla, she works with 3 laptops simultaneously. Trust me, guys,
Oh,
it
great.
was,
Actually, this
yes, I guess it was, and amazed to me that how she is able to manage that both.
manage all the things. Yeah, from beginning she's doing.
Yes. So now we
Good.
have the most
Go.
powerful session today, reason being the most powerful lady in our nation and one of the most powerful honorable women, Dr. Bakshi with us.
Yes, here is
Yeah.
he.
So,
Welcome, sir.
सुनते सुनते पता ही नहीं लगा कि टाइम कहाँ निकल गया
Time
and
कहाँ चला गया?
yeah, it is almost 8 now. So
What
ma'am,
a great moment to see you, Mr. Bakshi. Wonderful after a long time. My brother,
got goosebumps again.
My
you
darling
know
sister,
how much role you have played in my journey.
my darling sister, I am proud of you. And I am proud of you more that you are on my hashtag Women Power a Global Movement. What else can I ask in my life? I am in Vizag after 16 months doing a leadership retreat with L&T leaders, top 20 of a very important project. And I told them I have to finish because my sister is on the show. I have to be there. It is an amazing experience. And I tell you, I am so excited. I am so thrilled, Dr. Shukla, to see you live on this program. And I tell you, and my 2 women power ladies from Mumbai, Anshul Sharma, she's again director of a business school, a very passionate, mad woman again like us, like you,
Yeah.
and Niti Sharma. And these 2 people are really part of this movement. And they have really created, I mean, kya batao main? And today now you are on my show and people are watching you, ladies and gentlemen, watching around the world. Hashtag Women Power, a global movement, spread in 20 countries, along with Dr. Kiran Bedi, my mentor, who has been from day one into this program. I see Shefali Singhal watching you from Noida, Usha Cole from Rayong, Thailand, Utpal Cole from Noida. I see Women Power, Spain, Milani Halve watching you. I see Women Power from Indonesia, Jakarta. Geetika Mishra watching you. I can see Aruni Baga. Aruni was here. She's a television star and a Bollywood star, a Thai Indian lady. She was on this show a few weeks back watching you. I can see Ravi Saigal, the president of India Thai Chamber of Commerce watching you. I can see Papani Seth, Secretary General of Indian Association of Thailand watching you. I can see Chandra Gunju from Florida watching you. I can see Shalini from Germany watching you. I can see Peter from Durban watching you. I can see Pooja Gunju from Toronto watching you. I can see Jasmine, our Women Power Malaysia, watching you. I can see Shali watching you from Singapore. And I can see Carolina also watching you from Singapore. She's again Women Power. And I can see Shefanika watching you from England. I can see Nirja Sadhu watching you from New Jersey. Oh my God, what is going on? What a day, what a day.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Shukla,
Made
Balvinder
our day.
Shukla,
Yes.
Balvinder ji. And I can see so many people, so many questions, and the participants, you know, they are all, you know, I am, Anshul and Niti, I want to tell you first.
Yes.
I told you other day, it was really great that you finally got Dr. Shukla on this show.
Yes.
And then I gave a call first to Surin Shukla, her husband.
Okay.
जी जी
So I said, अरे तेरे को अपनी बीवी का कुछ पता है कि नहीं? कहता आज ही घर से लेता हूँ, जयपुर आ रहा हूँ, जयपुर आ गया आज ही, he is in Jaipur. And
जी जी
मैंने कहा डॉक्टर शुक्ला हमारे शो पे आ रही, कहता हाँ पता चला. मैंने कहा तेरे को अपनी बीवी का कुछ पता ही नहीं होता, ये आज की बात नहीं है, 30 साल पुरानी बात है, तब भी उनको पता नहीं होता था, because she was more closer to us. And I tell you, proud feeling, and I salute her. She was more close to us than Surin Shukla. And this is a family. When you look at Bakshi family today, my children, they don't watch me now because they're busy in their lives in Canada. Right now, they will not be this early morning for them. But they say today that, Dad, whatever said and done, your hashtag women power is a big moment.
Wow.
Yes.
So having said that, Madhu Rana Pandey, Women Power again is in Mumbai watching you. Girish is watching you. Mukesh Chaurasia Saab is watching you. Dr. Arif is watching you. Ashok Kumar Singh, Bachchan Mishra Saab is watching you. Anupama Avasthi is watching you. Alpana is watching you. Ibrahim Ratnesh is watching you. Manpreet is there. Namit Kapoor is watching. There are many people, maybe I forget somebody's name, I don't take. Nidhi Chaudhary is watching you. Hey, I want to tell you, Anshul and Nidhi, let me tell you very frankly.
जी
Dr. Shukla is one of the most respected women power of our country.
yes
She
yes
has
agree
struggled, and she just mentioned when I joined, and when the corporate world, she was director of CRC. Yes, those initial days, our team supported her. And there's a fact, the first national HIV network around India, I can never forget. And she remembers that. And there's a beauty of this lady that she doesn't forget those people who have been part of her lives. And I want to tell you another thing also. It is not only she is not forgetting, we are also not forgetting, because we also feel proud of her that she is today one of our great Americans in the world.
yes
Dr. Ashok Chavan, whom I respect personally and professionally, again, I am part of Dr. Ashok Chavan. I am an Amitian myself. My two kids studied when they were in India in Amity, and then they moved to the global world, and they are Amitians. And when Shalab's marriage was there, Dr. Shukla was there, Dr. Chavan was there, Dr. Amita Chavan was there, Dr. Ashok Chavan was there, Dr. Amita Chavan was there, Dr. Kiran Bedi was there, and I got Dr. Bedi and Ashok Chavan together on that thing. You remember Dr.
Yes,
Shukla?
yes, I remember very much.
She has added a lot of value to my life. Whatever I am today, Surin Shukla and Dr. Shukla, they have added a lot of life to my life. They have made me to excel. Dr. Ashok Chavan, Dr. Amita Chavan, Mr. Atul Chavan, and Asim Chavan, They're part of my family, and my kids have been part of the family. And even the personal get-togethers of Amity, there will be DK Bakshi, Usha Bakshi, Shalab Bakshi, Shivin Bakshi, and Dr. Shukla, of course, and we will be invited for that. So that is the kind of, and I came from Bangkok, and I went to, I give you a live example of Dr. Ashok Chauhan. He's a great man, and she talked about this great man. So I went to Lucknow to pay homage to Dr. Girish Bihari. I was one of the founders of that institution, and he was ex-Director General of Police. And I went to pay homage to him. And then National HRD Network said, since your flight is at 7 p.m., so we have arranged a talk for you at National HRD Network. I said,
Okay.
fine,
Yes.
I'm okay. So the car came, everything went there fine. And then when the car came, I saw written down there, Amity University. I said, car is coming from where? They said, National HRD Network. I said, but is it an Amity institution? Amity University. This, sir, your program is at Amity University. My God. So I sat in the car. I sat in the car and I reached the Amity University, Lucknow, and the director and all that, everybody was waiting outside with flower bouquets and all that. I said, my God, I have come back home. And when I entered the hall, there were professors and teachers and all faculty members. Ashok Chauhan Sahab, who came on the video, he said, my dear faculty, here is DK Bakshi, who has been one of the builders of Amity University. I can never forget that day. I was shocked. He's such a great man. He came to know that I'm going to Amity University, Lucknow. He did not know about it. Maybe his people talked to him. He put a video and he welcomed me there, and then I gave the talk there. This Dr. Chauhan is one of the biggest builders of Amity University. And you will see that there are many vice chancellors, and I will name that. Madhav Rachna, vice chancellor, Sanjay Srivastava. He is a product of Amity. And he was a professor of HRD at that point of time.
Wow.
Yes.
And your global guy, your Sardarji Chara
Gurinder Singh, Dr. Gurinder Singh.
Gurinder Singh was part of her team. And today he is a big man at Amity University. So we all know about Amity University, and I have been part of it. And I used to go to business school. I used to deliver a talk. I used to get sweating. And then Dr. Chauhan used to get up and say, next time there will be an AC in this room. And when he made an auditorium, he said, what do we do? I said, in the auditorium, let's get some Bollywood star, and we got Shan there. You remember? First business school auditorium, and we got Shan there. I'm talking about 97, 98. I'm talking about 2000 when I was in India. And this Dr. Chauhan, and ladies and gentlemen around the world, what you see today, a vice chancellor, female power, Dr. Balvinder Shukla, is a product of hard work, perseverance, persistence, and power of positivity. And she rightly said, moving from a CRC to the education was a big challenge. And in creating the network around the country, she was known as the superwoman of networking in the country. Any CEO, any CHRO, any CFO, any CMO would know Dr. Chauhan personally. And there's another thing also. In December, last week, they have a party at home, and I used to be part of that party every time. I came from Bangkok many times to be part of that party. Now I think she has forgotten to invite me.
No, for last couple of years, we are not having the party. But Mr. Bakshi, that if anybody enters into my list of the guests, that person's name never goes away from my list, no matter which part of the world that person is there.
Wow.
First of all, I would like to say that it is indeed an honor and a privilege to have such a great personality on the show. We have had from Kiran Bedi to Sister Shivani to Malini Awasthi to many film actors, Shazia Alniz to, you name anybody who has come on this show, global show, as well as the Indian show, and this goes on globally. And this Mumbai chapter, Simran Ahuja was there last time. These Anshul and Niti, proud of you. Love you from my
Thank you,
core.
sir. Thank you so very much.
Dr. Shukla is my darling sister, and being with her today on this platform. It's indeed a pleasure. It is indeed a pleasure. And she must have given. Madhu Raina is raising hand. She wants to join. Amarish, make her to join in case Madhu has something to say. And
Even
get
I
Madhu.
think we should take that question, sir. That what is your, what is the secret of your energy, ma'am? That's been asked from Vandana ji. तो आप अपनी एनर्जी का सीक्रेट बता
Second
दीजिए
बताएं.
प्लीज.
You are
Ma'am, you
muted.
are muted. You are muted, ma'am.
हाँ, you are muted, ma'am. Yes.
You know, secret of my energy is, well wishes of all my friends, my colleagues, love of my children, my family, and blessings of Dr. Chauhan and family. The Dr. Mrs. Amita Chauhan, our chairperson, I think she gave a great thing to Amity, that values, because she believes in the values like anything. So we celebrate the human values quarter. And I think that that value system which has been, and that makes you very strong. And when, I tell you, when you are to achieve, and I think we are aligned with the mission. We are, for this great mission, because at the end, education is the only way you can transform the society, you can build the nation. And when you are, and this is the dream of my father, that with my education I will contribute to society. So dream of my parents, dream of mine, and the dream of Dr. Chauhan, they all are in same line. And I'm fully supported by my family, my children, both my son and my daughter. And I have wonderful friends like Dr. Bakshi and all, who have really supported me those initial years, and their blessings are continuing till today and will continue in future also. Yes.
True.
So wonderful.
Doctor,
Thank you so much.
Dr. Chavan must be really happy today to see both of us together, because he knows the relationship between me and Dr. Shukla. Dr. Chavan is one person whom I admire as a visionary who really created Amity around the world. And I am the Vice President of Amity Corporate Network, MCON,
Yes.
and Rajan Kata as the President of MCON. And we excelled. She gave that story of MCON during her talk. I don't know, I have no words but to say that Dr. Shukla is a living example of turning those weaknesses into opportunities which others lack. She is a true role model for those who want to get into education. And when she said education is the nation building exercise, and I remember another guru of mine whom we lost during the pandemic, and his name is Padma Shri Dr. Pritam Singh, and he always used to say, he says, nations are not destroyed by poor quality of weapons. Nations are destroyed by poor quality of education. And I am feeling proud that Amity University, Amity institutions in the country and the global world today have a quality education to deliver. I'm proud of Dr. Ashok Chavan. I'm proud of Dr. Amita Chavan. I'm proud of Mr. Atul Chavan. I'm proud of Mr. Asim Chavan. I'm proud of Dr. Gurinder Singh. I'm proud of Dr. Shukla and many others who know me personally. Unfortunately, 16, 17 years I have been away from the country, but now I am mostly available here because of pandemic and COVID. And I would love to see Dr. Shukla personally and hug her and tell her that you delivered beyond our expectations. You benchmarked the women power of CRC to education and being vice chancellor. Dr. Chavan, am I right? Dr. Shukla, am I right?
100%. See, it's a very important what you have said today. That one side, the benchmarking the global education, but I tell you that what your company has done, global talent. you know, and supporting the many organizations. One second, Dr. Bakshi, but Dr. Chauhan's phone is there, so just give me 1 second.
Yeah. Tell him to come on the show. Tell him DK Bakshi is there.
And Dr. Amita Chauhan as well.
Mr. Bakshi, Honorable
Yeah.
Founder President is saying I am listening right from the beginning.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my God, he's there.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so
Honorable
much.
Thank you so
Chauhan.
very much, sir ji.
And Founder President saying I am very proud of you.
But we are proud of you, sir. And you are
Sir,
proud of
Mr. Bakshi is saying we are proud of you, sir. What Founder President has created in the world.
Great.
Yes, sir.
My Shalab and Cement, both products of Amity in the global world today.
Both ladies, they are very, very committed ladies. I'm proud of both of them. They have done the show very well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Chauhan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Great.
Yes.
So,
Founder President have said, Founder President have, complimented Niti, you and Anshul that you people have really conducted your show
thank you, sir.
very well.
Thank you so very much.
It's
Thank
really,
you so
you know,
much.
that
Thank you
It is
so very
an
much, sir.
honor.
Dr. Bakshi, you know that Founder President has so much love for you.
I know that. I also love him. I also respect him a lot. I remember Dr. Amita Chauhan. I respect Dr. Amita Chauhan. As well as Atulji and Asimji. They are the real builders of nation building. This entire Amity institution is nation building exercise and making India on the global map, on the global map, on the global map, on the global map. And that credit, I would say, goes to Dr. Gurinder Singh. I love him as well. And I am an Amitian, there's no doubt about it. Dr. Shukla, how do you feel now today to be part of this hashtag Women Power and Global Movement? People are
Yeah, it's a
watching
good
you.
question.
See, I think, I'm committed to the mission Amity.
Very great.
And in that mission, I'm trying my own humble way that what little I can contribute. Because we have got the great leadership in Amity in the
Absolutely.
form of our Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, Dr. Asim Chauhan, and where the whole family, you will rarely find that kind of combination where whole family is committed to the one common purpose. And Founder President says many times, that for my own family, if they're not committed to Amity, then they're not the Amity. That's where his vision is such. Because, and he said that, he's directly connected with the God. And he's here on the mission of the God. And when you are time, because I think I'm with a great institution, great organization. Whatever in my own humble way I can contribute, I will try my best, because back in mind always reminds me of my father also, who always wanted me to see that I am contributing in some form or other in the building the society,
Wonderful.
contributing the society.
Wonderful.
And I think that call is very, very strong, and that gives you a lot of sense of satisfaction.
Absolutely.
My father passed away a couple of years back, and but till today I don't feel that my father has gone away. And his blessings I all the time I see. And my father, when we used to have a birthday, my father used to do the special part on that day, and then he used to do a langar in the Gurdwara, and that was his. And this time when was my birthday, and the Honorable Founder President, as every year Founder President blesses me, Chairperson Madam blesses me, our Chancellor and everybody. So I just shared with the Founder President, that he was asking what you are doing. So I said I went to Gurdwara this morning, listen to the Kirtan, and then I came home. So now founder president immediately said, Dr. Shukla, they contribute to the, I will be sending and contributing the langar on your birthday's name. That's the greatness of this great visionary leader, that for him, his people are his team, his family. So when you're working in a family,
Not only that, I want to give a, ladies and gentlemen, whosoever is watching around the world, see the Amity group and the founder chancellor, founder president of this group, Dr. Ashok Chavan. I will give a live example of how they do it. There's one girl called Sangeeta, a lady called Sangeeta. I have given her to Dr. Shukla to recruit her. She was part of my company in Luxor Pocket. Recently she lost her son, and she actually came on road. Her son, 26, 27-year-old son. And she has a lot of problems in her life because she lost a young, bright son.
yeah,
And there are other problems. And I called her and I said, everything is fine. Don't worry. And she was crying on the phone. My people were watching and she was crying. And finally I said, any problem at Amity? And you know what she said? Sir, place me at Amity University. And where people are so nice, they have taken care of me. And they are still taking care of me. That is the respect Dr. Chauhan, Dr. Amita Chauhan, Mr. Atul Chauhan, Asim Chauhan. Ladies and gentlemen, whether you are in Canada or America or England or in Europe or in Africa, this is an Indian multinational institution around the world. Look at the values of Dr. Ashok Chauhan and his team and his family. That this lady is in a pain and she is being taken care. She did not lose the job. She is on job. She is getting salary. She got salary during pandemic when everybody was closing the doors of employees. She was kept on, and even now she's being taken care. I think I need to get up and give a big round of applause for Dr. Ashok Chauhan, a standing ovation for such a great man who did this kind of a thing. Her name is Sangeeta Barry. This is not a story. This is a real story. This is not a
Mr.
Bakshi. Dr. Chauhan, no, Dr. Shukla will say. Am I right?
Yeah, I remember Sangeeta Berry when her son was admitted in Medanta, Gurgaon, and when she called me and talked to me, and I spoke to Honorable Chancellor Dr. Tuchan, and immediately he said, whatever support is needed, give her, because she's our family member. See, it's unfortunate because of COVID, people have lost so many lives. And the sensitivity of this university, all those students who have lost their parent, who are supporting their education. Dr. Chauhan, they have committed that they will take the full care of their education to complete their education at Amity. And more than, 50 crores corpus has been created, and more than 400 students have already been supported for this year for their education to continue because they have lost their parents due to COVID pandemic. The pandemic has really shaken, and I think what Dr. Chauhan has done during last 1.5 years, the whole family, whether you talk about, every day 5,000 meals used to be distributed from our Amity's cafeteria, apart from contributing to the CM and PM's relief fund, and having that COVID help desk, vaccination, awareness camps, and all those things, and full salary to all employees across the globe, during whole period, because we all were working from home. And that's how that you will get the commitment only this way. And the day before yesterday, our Honorable Chancellor was on the campus after 18 months or so. He personally went to each block to meet the heads of institution, faculty, and thank them personally that what you people have done during pandemic time. And you're so important. You know, he could have called everybody in one auditorium and addressed them. No, he personally walked to every single block. And people all in the university are so charged up, so happy, motivated. This is called the family. Family doesn't mean by words, family by actions. And you know, we
Actually,
celebrate his
all
birthday as
of
a day
you
of
are,
belongingness.
amazing.
And we truly belong to this amity. And he belongs to us and we belong to him.
Wow.
Yeah, so this you know, the entire story, my goodness, the kind of examples are being, you know, set up by Dr. Chauhan and Dr. Shukla ma'am. आपको तो मैं, I would say, जब से मेरा professional career start हुआ है, I am, you know, since then I'm following you up. The kind of examples you are setting up, as Dr. Bakshi also said, benchmark. It is unachievable things. And आपका childhood dream जो था कि you wanted to be Indira Gandhi, but let me tell you, you are above that in terms of when it comes to education and nurturing kids. And you know, the leadership always flows from upward to downward, and the kind of leadership is being carried at Amity University from starting from Dr. Chauhan to Dr. Shukla and to the students, you know, thereof. It is amazing. And I also believe into responsible institutions always develop, nurture, and creates responsible youth, which Amity University is doing so wonderfully. And ma'am, today, you know, your presence on this hashtag Women Power show has raised bars of this show. And
It's like a booster for the, you know, for the show.
and
I
like
want to add here. I want
Yes.
to add here. I am Dr. Chauhan knows, everybody knows, and Dr. Shukla knows. I am a brand ambassador of Amity because you see, in my family, both my sons, they studied from Amity, and today both are at, elder one is at the level of a director, youngest director in the Siemens global world, and other one is a product manager of another multinational company. And I am really a true brand ambassador for Amity institutions. And I proudly say, ladies and gentlemen, around the world, whoever is watching now and who is going to be watching it later, Amity University around the world is a real global Indian university benchmarked around the world. Thank you very much, Dr. Shukla, from the core of my heart.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. And it is really an unforgettable moment for, I think, for me, for Neeti,
For all
for
of us. Yes. Yes.
Bakshi, and for the people who are watching now and who are
Watching.
going to watch this hashtag Women Power show from the YouTube link. I think it is an amazing journey that we listened from your, you know, in your words today, and we all got empowered, encouraged, motivated, and inspired. Thank you so much, Dr. Balvinder.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. Thank
and
you.
keep inspiring us.
Madhu is asking for a question from Madhu Rana Pandey from Mumbai. I think she has a question. Take a question quickly. Madhu, please go ahead.
I just want to tell ma'am, you know, I am completely, I am speechless.
Okay.
First and foremost, with my folded hands, I want to bow down to you, ma'am, to your simplicity and to your humility. Second, you have given me an energy today because I also come from corporate world. I have quit corporate world and I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission of taking wellness to every institute, to every school, to every corporate. And
Have you done Amity or not? Have you done Amity? Have you done Amity or not?
No, I have to do Amity. I just did Manav Rachna.
Yes. I will tell Dr. Shukla to get you to Amity to do it. Wellness.
You have given me an inspiration and energy that it is possible if you decide. And if your mission is the well-being, like your mission is education, and I completely agree with you. If you have to change the nation, you have to be, education is the foundation. And for that education, you need, if you have a healthy nation, what more can you ask for? All right. So I am so completely overwhelmed and grateful and speechless. You have completely charged me, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Great.
such a humble background and such tall
Thank you,
stature.
Madhu. Yeah,
Thank you so much,
Madhu,
ma'am.
for,
Grateful and gratitude.
Yeah, for being there on this show. And ma'am, देखिए शायद मन तो भरेगा ही नहीं हम लोगों का, to be honest, the way it is going on, but as a protocol we have to put a comma to the show, because we will again come up with a new and exciting story. But today, ma'am, we have like Mumbai chapter, we have created a history. It is more than 2.5 hours, and we are on and on and on. So it is all
I have to
because
go for, I have to
I
go
would
for
like
nutrition,
to-
please now.
Yeah. So I would like to, I'm really, privileged to be part of this platform.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
And,
Thank you so much.
And you know that it has really your blessings, your encouragement of Mr. Bakshi, and well, best wishes from all of you. I
Thank
think
you.
together we all have to commit ourselves to the youth,
Yes.
who is going to the future of this nation.
Youngest
So the future of this youth needs direction. This youth needs hand holding. So it's the one side, as you know, Madhur Energy said, health and well-being. Mindfulness is also very important. That how we really build this youth, because pandemic has really brought a lot of uncertainty in their mind. So emotional well-being, mindfulness, and the health is extremely important. How do we give, that confidence to them that they will be the great winners, because the world is waiting for them with right values, right skills, right competencies, and they can win the world. But at the moment, their confidence is shattered because of the remote mode of learning and not meeting their friends and all those things. And I think together, the all organization, we have to join together and see how we play our individual role, collective role, and organization roles to really contribute to the empowering the youth, not only women, but empowering the youth for the nation building and economic development, and making this world a better place to live through human values. Because if human values are not there, education alone is not going to do much. So with this, I really privileged to be part of this. So thank you so very much, Anshul, Niti, and especially my brother, Mr. Bakshi.
Thank you so much.
I'm grateful to our founder president and our chancellor and our chairperson, madam, that who have nurtured me and developed me what I am today here.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you
as
so
it is
much.
said, pen is mightier than sword, and I think this is what has come up out of this today's discussion. And ladies and gentlemen, please join hands with all of us in nurturing youth and thus nation. And I'm again thankful to Dr. Chauhan to be there, for a shorter period of time. And Shukla ma'am, we are honored to have you today. Thank you so much, and please stay safe and please stay blessed.
Yes.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye. Thank you so very much, Dr. Bakshi. Bye. Bye, ma'am. Bye. Bye.